Get the millions and lay low.
What up? Welcome to the NCAA Final Four special. I had a whole intro lined up. I didn't want to play, so sorry about that. But I appreciate you. A couple things going wrong today. The intro didn't play. So maybe I'll play it at the end. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And number two, my partner, Canteen, didn't show up. He had emergency at work, so unfortunately he wasn't able to make it. So it's just me and you guys. Welcome to the show. All right, we're doing Final Four special. Final Four special here. This was the song that was going to play with that video. Man, let me try the video again. Oh, man. Man, that's not going to play. Man, that was such a good video. Let me try it again, all right? Hang on. Out of sight, out of mind, on my way. Out of sight, out of mind, on my way. Out of sight. Hey, there it goes. I'll let you see the video now. We'll see you in a minute. Maybe it won't play. Well, that stinks. Well, so much for that. I'm gonna have to download it. I thought I could get it off the cloud. But unfortunately, I could not get it off the cloud. All right, so maybe next time. That's very disappointing. I thought I could play it, man. Let me try one more time. There we go. Maybe I'll play it. No, not gonna do it. All right, there it is. All right, you saw some of it if you saw the Facebook page. You saw some of it, but Final Four special. You got Villanova versus Kansas coming up first, and then you got the Tar Heels versus Duke Blue Devils in the Final Four. Congratulations to those 4 teams who have made it there, despite, you know, a lot of good teams this year. So that's my new thing. Oh, I got a little black background back there that I'm able to put on now, different types of background. So at least that worked, right? So at least that worked. But anyway, so let me know what you think. We're gonna do a little Final Four rundown. We'll do the first game. We'll do Villanova versus Kansas. Like I said, my partner Canteen did not make it. So we got Villanova, who is up against Kansas here in the first game. That should start here pretty soon on CBS, I believe. TBS, okay, TBS. I guess the championship's on CBS. All right, so it'll be Nova, Kansas first. We have the number 2 seed Villanova versus Kansas. Right now, Kansas is a 4-point favorite right now. Most of the betting public is betting on Kansas. And most are betting the over 133.5 on as far as number of points or the over under on that game. It's 53% are betting the over, not very many, but most people are betting on Kansas to win this game. Let's talk a little bit about the game. Let us know. Give us your comments. Let me get rid of this part. All right, give us comments. Let us know what you think about this game coming up. So we got 2 teams that have made it this far. Villanova in the round of 32 beat Ohio State 71-61, and then in the Sweet 16 they beat Michigan 63-55. And then Houston seems to be their toughest game that they had on the road here. Along the road, Villanova's got a pretty good defense, but it seemed like Houston was the only team, a number 4 seed, who gave them any challenge. Ohio State was only a 7 seed. Michigan was only 11 seed. They overperformed in the tournament, but Houston was a legitimate team. I thought they would give them some trouble. I still thought that Villanova would win, but I thought Houston would be the one that gave them the most trouble in the Elite 8. And they still beat them 50-44, a number 4 seed. And then Kansas along the way beat Creighton. They were number 9 seed, 79-72. Had some trouble with them at starting out, but Creighton was a decent team. They are, even though they're a 9 seed. But then Providence, they also had some trouble with them along the way. Kansas, is that right? Hold on, I think I got this one wrong. Let me see here. Yeah, I think that's wrong. There, wait a minute. Great. All right. Kansas. I don't know why it's saying that here. Let me see here. Let me look at my other app here. Because Kansas, I know they. Okay, that's right. No, that's right. That's right. My bad. Yeah, Kansas played Providence in the Sweet 16 and won 66-61. Number 4 seed Providence did give them a little bit of trouble. My partner Canteen thought that Providence might upset Kansas. I kind of felt like Kansas was going to win that game. Providence was having a good year and they were playing well, but I just thought Kansas has played really well in the Big 12, and that was a pretty tough conference in my opinion. Probably the best, or one of the best, arguably one of the best conferences in the country. And then number 10, they met number 10 Miami, who definitely overperformed, made it to the Elite 8. Miami Hurricanes, shout out to them, who made it to the Elite 8. Miami overperformed, definitely made it to the number 10 seed, made it to Elite 8. But they I guess their luck ran out, or I don't know if it was luck, but they ran into Kansas, and they just pretty much walloped them 76-50 in that game. 76-50. So yeah, so let us know what you think. Who you think is going to win this game in the Final Four? Let us know what you think. So just looking at this, we know Villanova, their 6'4" shooting guard Justin Moore towards Achilles in the final minute of the game versus Houston. So the backup Caleb Daniels is a senior who replaced him in the starting lineup. Jay Wright called Justin Moore their MVP. So that's a big loss for Villanova. Villanova still has a pretty solid team defense. They play really well team defense. A lot like Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech, gotta see. I'm a Texas Tech fan, but for those who may not know. They play a lot like Texas Tech in that they play really good team defense. But they have a few more players that can score. You had Gillespie, you had Justin Moore, who obviously was hurt, and then they had a few people off the bench that could play and help them. Jermaine Samuels is pretty good as far as playing that. Is it the forward position? He's 6'7", 11 points, 6 points per game. Their center, 6'8" only. He's listed as their starting center. He's only 6'8", 9.1 points per game and 6 rebounds per game. And then you have, I think they may end up. I'm thinking we'll talk about the game in a minute, but we're just kind of looking at the starting lineup, what happened. So Kansas was a part of that 2000. Or actually, senior Mitch Lightfoot was a part of the 2018 team that didn't win the championship. I think that's when they played. Villanova. I believe they played Villanova in 2018. So this is kind of a rematch, but from a few years ago. Kansas, as we said, they have the Big 12 Player of the Year in Ochai Agbaji. 6'5" senior, the Wooden Award finalist as well. He averages 18.9 games, basically 19 points per game. And they've gotten a lot of production from Remy Martin, the 6-foot guard who was big for the Jayhawks during this tournament. He had 2 20-point games on this run to make it to the Final Four. So Remy has been big, and we'll see if he continues to play well in the Final Four. I'm assuming he will, but we'll see what happens. David McCormick has been suffering with a little bit of a foot injury all season long, but I guess he aggravated a little bit. But he's their 6'10" senior, 250 pounds, averages 10 points and 7 rebounds. But he really clogs up the middle a little bit, and it kind of helps it, do some mismatches. When you have where they probably will have a little mismatch and with Villanova. Even though Villanova plays really good team defense, that's a good thing. But he'll have a couple advantages there down low. They also have Juwan Harris, a sophomore point guard, 6'1" guy. I only have just 5 points. Jalen Wilson, also a sophomore out of Denton, Texas, 11 points and 7 rebounds per game. And then Christian Brown, but it's spelled Braun, but you say it Brown. So anyway, he's a junior, small forward out of, I don't remember where he's from, but he's 6'6". He averages 14 points, plays really well for them, 6 rebounds per game. Like I said, they played really well in the last game. Miami was a pretty good team. Even though they were a 10 seed, they were playing really well. So we'll see what happens. I feel like in this game, I think they're going to take advantage of McCormick down low. I feel like he's going to be able to really take advantage of those things down low. And I think that I don't know if they're going to necessarily be able to take advantage of it the whole game. Besides, we know that McCormick is hurt. He's got a hurt foot. So I believe they'll be able to take advantage of him at times and force Villanova to help down low. And maybe McCormick can kick it out to an open Agbaji or some other, maybe Remy Martin. Remy is pretty good at breaking down the defense and maybe kicking it out to Agbaji or to Christian Brown, who is a pretty decent shooter at times. He can get hot. And so just knowing these two teams, I know, like I said, Villanova plays a lot like Texas Tech. So I think they will give them some trouble. Kansas did beat Texas Tech in the Big 12 tournament championship game. It was a close game. What was that score to that game? It was 74-65. Texas Tech played them pretty well the whole game, and they pulled away towards the end. So, it is what it is. But I think Kansas, they played in a tougher conference than Villanova. I wouldn't be surprised if Villanova pulled it off. But I feel like Kansas is just, I don't know. they have a better overall team. They were in a tougher conference overall, and I think they're going to be able to pull it out. So we'll see what happens. The Jayhawks, even though I don't really necessarily care for the Jayhawks per se. I mean, I don't really care for any of these teams, to be honest. I'm just going to be honest about it, right? I mean, Duke, I was okay with Duke and Coach K and all that stuff and whatnot. I mean, okay, yeah, this is last year until my future son-in-law, I guess you could say, my daughter's fiance, Elias, started, giving me a hard time when Duke beat Texas Tech and then, all that good stuff. And so yeah, that's why I don't want Duke to win. Yeah, sorry. But anyway, I'm not a big Duke fan either way. And then UNC and North Carolina, UNC Tar Heels will play later on. We'll talk about that game now. Let us know what you think. Who you think is going to win the Villanova Kansas game? Let us know who is going to win that game. I'm picking Kansas to pull away late in that game. Not necessarily by a big margin, but maybe 6 to 8 points. Maybe basically hitting free throws at the end of the game. That's kind of how I see that game going. We'll see that the game starts here in about 10 minutes or so. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the UNC, North Carolina Tar Heels, and the Duke Blue Devils. And so, interestingly enough, this is the first time that North Carolina and Duke have ever met in the Final Four, even though they've played some 258 games against each other. There's a long history between the two programs, of course, in the regular season, even in the tournament, but they have never met up in the Final Four. So this is the first meeting, which is surprising to me, seeing how they have met 258 times. But I guess they are in different conferences, aren't they? Oh no, maybe they're not. All right, they're in the same conference. I don't know. Yeah, I guess they are. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they're in the same conference, and surprisingly, they never met. And well, that kind of makes sense because you don't really see a lot of teams meet from the same conference in the actual Final Four. Sometimes that's pretty difficult for two teams to make it from the same conference. So, but interestingly enough, they do have a long history, and apparently that's why 258 games that they've met throughout their history. And so, of course, UNC had a 2017 national title game that they won, and then they lost against Villanova in 2016. Coach K has 5 national titles, and he's going for his 6th here. All right, so Coach Hubert Davis, he believes there's a quote that he says, well, not a quote, I'll just paraphrase, sorry. But he believes that they flipped the switch, North Carolina, when he replaced Roy Williams about 11 months ago. But he believes that game that they won against Duke earlier this year, I guess on March the 5th, not too long ago, he believes that's when he said that, they flipped, and they started becoming a real team and being able to play better. And so I think Hubert Davis, congratulations to him as well. He'll be the first player / coach who played and coached in the Final Four. That's pretty good. So shout out to him for being the first player and coach to do both as a player and a coach in the Final Four. So shout out to Hubert Davis. He's done a great job replacing Roy Williams after he retired last year, only a short 11 months ago. All right, Armando Beckett is a 6'10" center who in the last 2 games, or the last game, he had 20 points, 22 rebounds versus the Peacocks. Shout out to the St. Peter Peacocks who had a little bit of a run. So that's who the Tar Heels beat in the Elite Eight. Was the number 15 seed. They pretty much trounced them 69-49. Shout out to the Peacocks though for making it that far. That was a big run. I had a feeling they were going to lose to North Carolina. I kind of thought they would have lost the game before that, St. Peter's, but I guess they made it a little further, one more game. But I kind of know. I knew. You know what? I think I called that Purdue game that they were going to beat Purdue. So, they were playing well. That St. Peter, don't get me wrong, but at some point they're just going to meet too many good teams in a row, and St. Peter's will not be able to sustain that kind of run, even though they did play well. And shout out to St. Peter Peacocks, who had a great run in the NCAA. And then they beat in the Sweet 16. They beat UCLA. That is, the Tar Heels beat UCLA 73-66. And then Baylor, that was a surprise to me. They beat them 93-86, I believe. Beat them not necessarily handily. They were beating them handily, and then Baylor, as I told my partner kind of team, had a comeback. I said, I think Baylor can come back on them, and they did. They had a furious comeback, took them into overtime, and ended up still beating Baylor 93-86. I think that was probably their toughest test through this tournament, was that first game against Baylor in the round of 32. But anyway, so yeah, Armando Beckett he averages 16 points normally and 12 rebounds per game. RJ Davis, their point guard, 13 points, 4 rebounds per game, 3.5 assists basically per game. Brady Manick was a OU transfer, 6'9", averages 15 points a game and 5 rebounds per game. He was a good addition to the team. I think he's added a little depth. He's kind of been their X factor, so to speak. Leaky Black, a shooting guard. He only averages 4 points per game and 4 assists per game, but he's a solid guard, and he can play a little defense. So on the other side, we have Paulo Banchero, the freshman phenom, 6'10", out of Seattle, Washington, 17 points per game and 7 rebounds per game. And then you also have Wendell Moore, junior, who averages point guard junior, who averages 13 points and basically 4.5 assists per game. And then Jeremy Roach, who has emerged, a sophomore who's playing really well. We'll talk about him. Let's talk about him. He emerged during this tournament as their kind of go-to guy. He only was averaging 8.6 points per game during the season, but he wasn't completely healthy. He hasn't even been. I think it's been a year or so that he hasn't really been healthy, and he's just now getting healthy as the tournament started, and now he's averaging basically 12 points per game. He was a teammate in high school, I guess, of Trevor Keels at some point, but look, he's taken over the starting role there, and he has really been great. He's one of those guys who can kind of, I think he's a 6-foot sophomore. He can I've been watching him. He's played really well. He's got a lot of confidence. He's hit some really big shots. And he's able to drive to the basket. I saw closely, of course, the Texas Tech game that they beat, and he did really well. He had some big shots, key plays down the stretch. Jeremy Roach played really well for them. And then, of course, I have Trevor Keels, another freshman, 11 points per game. He averages. AJ Green, another freshman. So they have pretty much the Fab Three, I guess you want to call them, with those 3 freshmen. Fab Three. That doesn't sound right. The Terrific Three? Terrific 3. I don't know. Anyway, but AJ Green, 6'6", freshman, 10 points per game. And then you have Mark Williams, kind of their center, 11 points per game, 7 rebounds per game. They beat Arkansas in the Elite Eight, 78-69. That was probably their toughest, well, not their toughest game, their second toughest. They actually beat, I thought they were going to beat Arkansas, and they did. It was a 9-point game, but it was pretty close for most of the game, and they pulled away towards the end. And then they beat number 3 Texas Tech. Shout out to Texas Tech. They beat Texas Tech 78-73. If you saw that game in the Sweet 16, Tech played really well. It was really close throughout. In the last probably 2-3 minutes is when they kind of pulled away and put the game away by 5 points. But it was really close throughout. But anyway, they beat Texas Tech. That was a good win, and they beat Michigan State in the round of 32, 85-76. So Duke has really played well. I think each game they've gotten better. Michigan State, they were good. Michigan State's not a great team. They were a pretty good team, and they beat them fairly easily. And then they had I think they had a tougher test against Texas Tech, of course. And then Arkansas, I think they were hitting their stride. Even though Arkansas played well through this tournament, they were the number 4 seed. And I think that Duke has kind of hit their stride. And so for all you Tar Heel fans, I feel bad, but I think that Duke's probably going to win this game. Not that I really want them to win necessarily. I just feel like, they wouldn't hurt my feelings if the Tar Heels won. I'll tell you that right now. It wouldn't hurt my feelings. But I just want to let you know that I think Duke's going to win this game. They're hitting their stride. Paul Banchero, it really is. I mean, he's a solid player. He's already got pretty much an NBA body. He's 16. He's a freshman. He's a young player, but he's already, I can only imagine when he really gets and matures, his body matures and becomes really a full grown man. I mean, I think he's 19, but man, he's really solid, really mature for his age. He's played well in this tournament. I feel like he's gotten better each game, just better overall game, right? Not necessarily as a scorer, but he can score. He can shoot the three. I was surprised how well he could shoot the 3-point. I don't think he's like super great, but he in this, I don't know, in this tournament for sure, he's played really well shooting from the 3-point line, and he's been able to back some. I think that's it. That's kind of his weakness, if I want to call it a weakness, is that sometimes he gets a mismatch, and he's the bigger guy, and I think he should back down those guys a little more. And I think he could take advantage of his size. He's 6'10". He's a solid 6'10", a big body already, and he's probably going to get bigger, assuming he doesn't go straight into the NBA. Well, I don't know. I'm assuming that he probably will, but maybe if he comes back next year, wow, Duke's automatically the favorite. I mean, just because of him. Maybe not the favorite, but I mean, they'll be one of the favorites. Let's put it that way. They'll be one of the favorites for sure, even without Coach K. I'm assuming he'll leave because Coach K's leaving, unless Paulo knows, who the coach is, or believes that, he can, I don't know, that the next coach will be, maybe he'll wait and see who the next coach is. But I'm assuming Banchero will go to the NBA. He's NBA ready. I mean, he could use another year and grow into his body more, but he's NBA ready. I mean, he's not going to be, start day one. Well, he probably would start day one, but he's not going to be a superstar. I think he still needs a little growth as far as his game, but he's very solid for a freshman. Very, very, very solid. And he's matured throughout this tournament. So basically, to me, he's a sophomore. Most of these freshmen are sophomores now, for the most part. But anyway, so speaking of UNC, I think Duke is going to pull this game out. I think it will be a close first half. I feel like Duke may pull away in the second half, and it'll probably be fairly early in the second half. I feel like they're going to pull away. Griffin has a decent shot. If his shots start falling, Jeremy Roach, I think he will press and do well, and kind of be that guy who maybe drives in, kicks out, or maybe drives in and gets a few of those shots. Now that he's healthy, he seems really quick. He's a very great first step, and he's been able to really emerge here now that he's fully healthy. So I feel like Duke's going to win this game. Let us know what you think here on the bottom line. Let us know who you think. Who's going to win this game? Do you think Coach K is going to get his 6th title, or do you think Hubert Davis gets his first title as a head coach? New head coach, rookie head coach, so to speak. So, he is a rookie head coach. All right, so let us know what you think. Man, I can't believe this dumb thing didn't play. Let's see if I can get it to play. I'm going to try one more time. I don't think it's going to work, but we'll try it one last time. I'm going to have to save this video. And it's just for this. I made it just only for this. There's no other reason that I made it except to play here, because it's a one-time, NCAA. I've got all these videos. You saw part of it over. I mean, if you look at our page, you saw a piece of it. I may just post it there, just because it took time to make it, and it didn't work. But anyway. So let us know what you think. Who's going to win the Final Four? I'm assuming it looks like we're going to have the first game is about to start. I'll let you guys watch the game. I appreciate your comments. Any comments that you leave, either now or on the repeat, I appreciate it. I'm here by myself, so I wasn't able to really see any comments or really kind of get any feedback back and forth. Usually it's me and Canteen. I'm not the one totally trying to run the show by myself. I wasn't prepared to do that, but apparently Canteen had an emergency at work, and he's trying to take care of that. So hopefully everything is okay. I'm sure everything's okay. He's not in any danger, so to speak. But hopefully he's able to take care of that. And let us know what you think. Comment, share, do all that good stuff here on the bottom line. I got my new background going. Hopefully it looks good. I don't know how it looks in live streaming. And hopefully next week I'll have a little bit more. I think I'm going to get I'll be able to do a little more with the laptop, hopefully. I'm doing all this through my phone, so in case you didn't know. But I do all this through my phone. Anyway, so welcome. If you this is the first time watching it, I appreciate you. We're gonna do a little gift card thing, but I'm not gonna. We'll talk about that on Sunday for the championship game. We're gonna do a gift card thing. Hold on, come on. Okay, there we go. We'll do a little gift card giveaway for the. So tune in to that show on Sunday. We're gonna do probably I think a $50 Visa gift card. We'll talk more about that on Sunday. Tomorrow when we do our regular show at 7:30 p.m. and we might have a surprise guest on that show tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow at 7:30. We're gonna have our regular show. Talk about everything. Talk about this game. Talk about the next game. Talk about some NFL, NBA, all kinds of stuff. And we're gonna talk about our $50 giveaway Visa card for predicting the correct score to the championship game, whoever that might be on Monday, and then of course closest points. If of course it's only 50-50, so somebody's gonna pick the winner, right? But as far as give us a score with that, we're gonna do all. We'll talk about all that on Sunday. But appreciate you on the show. Thanks for watching the show. I guess I'll let me roll out with this. Put it on. Let me see if it works. I'm gonna see if it works. Hang on. Let's see what happens. If not, I'll just play the song on our way out. Let's see what happens. Come on, play, baby. Nope. Got it. Let's see. Let's see. And I don't think I have that one. That song. Oh, well. Well, heck. Hang on. Thought I had that song on here, though. Oh, man. What a mess. What a mess for this show. But anyway, let me see. Yeah, I'll just play our regular show intro, outro. Go hard or go home. But we'll see you next time. That's not it. There it is. All right. So we'll see you next time. Appreciate anybody who tunes in. Hopefully this doesn't deter you from watching shows in the future. Said a lot of things happening.
Go home, go home, go hard.
My guest host couldn't make it.
Go hard,
My video didn't work.
go hard, go hard, go hard.
Oh well.
Touchdown like the end zone.
We'll see you next time on The Bottom Line.
My home can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, go hard, go home, go hard, go hard, go home. Yeah, these championship rings on my hands now. In my head I'm top 10, yeah, that's hands down. You a squad, now you're looking man down. Funny how foes turn to friends now. Drive a race car like a Atari now. Call killing up, I need product again. Treat the business like a playground, might slide on you. Do a backflip, cause I'm mad rich. I'm the definition of what that is. Go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home. Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone.